So, what happened to Bob Welch? Let's walk through his journey, where he thrived, where he struggled, and how his legacy stands today. Bob Welch was born Robert Lawrence Welch Jr. on August 31st, 1945, in Hollywood, California, into a show business family. His father was a screenwriter producer at Paramount. Welch Sr. produced the Thin Man TV series from 1958 to 1959. His mother was an actress and singer. He began playing clarinet before switching to guitar in his teens, playing jazz, R&B, and rock. He briefly studied French in Paris and at UCLA, but gravitated toward music. By the late 1960s, he'd played in bands like the Seven Souls and Head West. In 1971, Bob Welch joined Fleetwood Mac when the band was in flux, having lost founding members Peter Green and Jeremy Spencer. He became their first American member and helped shape a more melodic, accessible sound. Welch was assigned rhythm guitar, backing up lead guitarist Danny Kirwan. Over 3 productive years, he contributed to albums like Future Games in 1971, Bare Trees in 1972, Penguin and Mystery to Me in 1973, and Heroes Are Hard to Find in 1974. He wrote key tracks like Future Games, Sentimental Lady, and the atmospheric Hypnotized. Welch provided stability in a turbulent period. Kirwan was replaced as a vocalist by ex-Savoy Brown lead singer Dave Walker. He essentially set the stage for the later mega success of albums like Fleetwood Mac in 1975 and Rumors in 1977. Bob left the band in 1974 and was replaced by Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks. He formed the hard rock trio Paris, but that project fizzled out by 1976. They released 2 commercially unsuccessful albums, Paris and Big Town 2061. He then launched a solo career with French Kiss in 1977. The album went platinum and featured big screen pop hits. A re-recorded Sentimental Lady. Billboard peaked at number 8, backed by Christine McVie and Ebony Eyes, reached number 14 on the U.S. pop chart, and was especially big in Australia, reaching number 2 in 1978. In 1979, his next album, 3 Hearts, yielded another top 40. Precious Love peaked at number 19. His second effort that year, November's The Other One, contained his first solo recordings without any Fleetwood Mac members, which only peaked at number 105 on the Billboard 200 and produced no charting singles. Sadly, the spotlight dimmed later in the 80s. Each album released from here on out has diminishing returns. Man Overboard was released in 1980 and reached number 162 on the Billboard 200. A self-titled album was released in 1981 and became his last charting album, peaking at 201. Eye Contact was released in 1983. Bob battled heroin addiction, though he recovered by the mid-80s. He pivoted to songwriting for others, Kenny Rogers, Sammy Hagar, Pointer Sisters, and hosted a syndicated TV show, Hollywood Heartbeat, in 1980 to 81, interviewing early LA acts and driving around Sunset Strip in a convertible. In the 90s, he resettled in Nashville, working quietly on music and occasional releases like Bob Welch Looks at Bop in 1999 and his Fleetwood Mac Years and Beyond in the early 2000s. On June 7, 2012, Bob Welch died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound in his home in Nashville at age 66. He had undergone spinal surgery 3 months earlier and was not expected to recover fully. In a note to his wife, Wendy, he said he believed he'd become a burden and left behind a love letter and a 9-page suicide note. His death came as a shock to friends and bandmates. Stevie Nicks called it devastating, and Mick Fleetwood acknowledged Bob as a huge part of our history. So what happened to Bob Welch? He helped transform British blues rock into melodic pop rock, had brief but real solo success, then battled addiction, injury, fading fame, and mental health challenges. Yet his influence is still felt. Fleetwood Mac might never have reached superstardom without his transitional leadership. His songs continue to resonate, and he paved the way for later members to take the band into global acclaim. Bob Welch's story is one of musical talent, creative spirit, transition, and tragedy. He deserves recognition not just as a footnote in Fleetwood Mac's history, but as an artist in his own right. As we reflect on what happened to him, let's remember both the heights he reached and the pain he endured. Let us honor his music and take from his story a reminder to listen, to support, and to never let someone feel alone.